All right, thanks everyone. How's everyone doing? I think this is like the last talk, so give me some energy. Let's go. Thanks. Thanks for the patience. This is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to be talking about Core and unlocking $1 trillion in Bitcoin value. I've been talking to a few people here. Unfortunately, this is not finding your lost Bitcoin wallet and lost Bitcoin. It is something completely different. I wish that was the case, but no, we're going to be talking about Core. My name is Brendon. I'm one of the initial contributors here. Core is a Bitcoin-powered Layer 1 blockchain. It's fully EVM compatible. And again, our mission is to unlock the $1 trillion of Bitcoin and scale the Bitcoin blockchain. So in 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin. How many of you got into Web3 because of Bitcoin or have heard of Bitcoin? Put your hand up. It's typically most people's entry or gateway into this industry, and it kind of created everything with this non-sovereign store of value and the white paper that was launched, which is wildly 15 years ago. And since then, there's been tons of crypto use cases. They've absolutely exploded. There was the launch of smart contracts with Ethereum. We've heard from Cardano, Solana, and Near Protocol today. A variety of DeFi apps, NFTs, you name it. If you're on crypto Twitter, it's nearly impossible to stay up to speed with everything that's happening in this industry right now. It's absolutely wild. But Bitcoin, the network, has remained largely unchanged. There have been a few small upgrades, but generally it has not really changed at all since launch. Although there have been a lot of community discussions around this in the fork wars a couple years ago. But even though it's remained completely unchanged and the crypto market has grown dramatically, Bitcoin is still the king, or as we like to call it, the apex asset. It's over 50% of crypto's market cap, and if things continue to go the way they are, it could increase or hold that. And with the establishment of the ETFs in the US, where folks can buy this in a brokerage account, it's actually, the demand for Bitcoin is growing. Again, this narrative of a non-sovereign store of value is very popular and resonating with people all around the world. Obviously, you can do this in a non-custodial fashion, but if you want to do it through an ETF, more people can get access to Bitcoin. Additionally, now that Bitcoin has kind of been weaved into the traditional finance landscape with these ETFs. It's been around for a long time. It's never gone down. Has the most holders of any crypto asset. Its holders are now wanting more from it, and there's a lot of demand for Bitcoin utility. So ordinals launched last year really seemed to change everything. There was recently runes if you're deep in the Bitcoin space, but there's a lot of people that want to do more on the Bitcoin chain as it's gained in popularity. But Bitcoin was not, and is currently, as we mentioned, it hasn't changed at all. It's not meant to do these things. So although we're trying to mold Bitcoin for these new use cases, it's actually not currently possible. And it's driving up transaction fees. Bitcoin was meant to be naturally expensive, slow, and very simple and purposely limited. That's why it's such a good store of value. But it's not great for all these other use cases or generally possible. So to summarize, we have this massive $1 trillion asset that has been weaved into TradFi markets and adopted by governments, corporations, and a lot of and millions of users. But Bitcoin itself and this $1 trillion is locked out of traditional use cases and crypto use cases. So there's no native staking yield. There are no smart contracts on Bitcoin. And there are no financial primitives, and it's not scalable. I don't know why I put highly scalable, but it's not scalable. So our thinking is there's obviously this demand to do more with your Bitcoin. We need to separate Bitcoin, the asset, and that $1 trillion in market cap from Bitcoin, the L1, without disrupting the L1, letting it do what it does best, but separating the asset and providing use cases to these millions of holders and this $1 trillion in capital that is currently locked on Bitcoin. So that's where Core comes in, and a lot of Bitcoin scaling solutions. So again, we are a Bitcoin-powered layer 1 chain that incorporates miners and Bitcoin stakers into our EVM-compatible chain. So that's where you can execute traditional EVM use cases, have all the composability that comes with an EVM chain, and we're going to talk about some of the other great use cases that come with that. We launched last year in January in 2023. We've had over 16 million addresses, just shy of 250 million transactions, have about 6 million holders, and a very large and rampant community called the Cortoshis that we're currently working with the D3 team on activating star core domains. And when we launched, the early core team was very Bitcoin-centric, believe in Bitcoin, and really wanted to see scaling possibilities, but they just didn't exist. So that was really the genesis of why Core was created. And it was created with a few guiding principles. So first, that it should be accessible and built for Bitcoin holders. So you'll see that you can bridge in and out very easily and seamlessly, and it shouldn't extract value from Bitcoin holders in any way. We actually include them in our consensus where you can stake Bitcoin and earn yield. Secondly, is it needed to be Bitcoin aligned. There have been other experiments around scaling Bitcoin that generally extract value from miners or don't align with the different participants in the Bitcoin network, particularly the miners and Bitcoin holders. So in our setup, we very much include all participants within the Core blockchain. And then lastly, it needed to be community driven. So one of the reasons why Bitcoin has such staying power is this myth around how it was launched. It was completely fair launched. It, again, wasn't controlled by any governments or entities, and it was this mysterious founder. But it was really this epic fair launch. And Core wanted to replicate that as close as possible. So we have had no VC funding. It was a completely fair launch in January last year when we airdropped to 2 million community members who got in at the genesis of the Core blockchain. So there were no pre-mined tokens or early insider sales whatsoever. So it's a fully community-driven chain from day one. And that was very important to us. So let's talk about Core Chain, how we're going to unlock this $1 trillion opportunity. So first we'll talk about unlocking the network, then the asset Bitcoin, and then unlocking some of these Bitcoin, DeFi, or other use cases. So first of all is the network itself. We talked about some of the limitations of Bitcoin. So again, Core is a layer 1 blockchain that is secured by this novel consensus called Satoshi Plus. I don't want to overcomplicate, so we'll keep things fairly simple, but our consensus includes Bitcoin miners. They help secure our blockchain, and in return for that, they earn additional rewards on top of the Bitcoin rewards that they earn. Secondly, if you hold Bitcoin, you can stake your Bitcoin and earn yield without giving up custody and participate in governance on the chain. And then lastly, if you're a Core holder, you can stake Core. So it's this really novel hybrid proof of work and proof of stake chain. We already have over 50% of Bitcoin miners participating in the chain today and helping secure Core. They basically, again, delegate their hash power and in return earn Core rewards for securing the network. We also, just under 2 weeks ago, enabled non-custodial Bitcoin staking. So for the first time, if you hold Bitcoin, you can stake your Bitcoin and earn Core rewards from our block emissions. What's great about this product is you do not need to bridge, wrap, or move your Bitcoin in any way, and you hold your keys. So it's completely non-custodial. You time lock your Bitcoin on the Bitcoin chain and earn Core rewards for helping secure the blockchain again. Secondly, we talked about unlocking Bitcoin, the asset. So we have a native bridged Bitcoin called Core BTC that's completely trustless, that enables you to seamlessly move your Bitcoin from Bitcoin to Core. And again, it's a completely trustless solution. Secondly, we are launching HTLC atomic swaps, where you can swap from Bitcoin to Core or a variety of other chains in a trustless fashion. And then lastly, now that the chain is set up with all the Bitcoin participants participating, this in and out bridge with Bitcoin, we want to unlock Bitcoin DeFi use cases and a variety of other use cases with Bitcoin. Again, if you think about this $1 trillion asset and just a small percentage of which participating in DeFi, it's a number that dwarfs Ethereum TVL and is an absolutely massive opportunity. And that is our focus right now, launching Bitcoin-based and Bitcoin-aligned DeFi primitives and products. So our ecosystem is growing. Again, as I mentioned, we're EVM compatible, so very easy for builders to deploy on Core and access our large community and Bitcoiners. We have a whole suite of Bitcoin specialized dApps. We also have a variety of infrastructure and Web3 dApps. I think I also mentioned, I think we were the first D3 collaboration, so we're really psyched about that. And bringing the .core domain. I've been in tech for over 15 years, so as a Web2 guy, the pitch just made immediate sense to me, and we're very excited about partnering with D3 and turning that into a massive business. And then, so yeah, with all these products, you've heard a lot today about simple UX. Crypto generally is not simple. We want to deliver these experiences through a couple partnerships we've done. So we've got Element Wallet, which is a core native wallet and messaging product. It's meant to have a familiar Web2 style experience and interface where you can interact with core projects in a way that kind of abstracts a lot of the complexity of crypto. And then we also have Satoshi app, which is this very seamless on-ramp to Web3 and Launchpad that's bringing a lot of Web2 natives into Web3 for the first time. As a last announcement, something we're really proud of that we launched again at Token 2049 is a recent partnership with Valor. So not only is this exciting to strong Bitcoiners and all this on-chain activity, we also are going to be powering the world's first yield-bearing ETP product. So that is similar to an ETF, and it's an exchange-traded product that you can buy in your brokerage account. Imagine that you can buy Bitcoin that is yield-bearing and stacking sats in your brokerage account, powered by the yield generated by Core. That is coming live through Valor. It will be launched in all European markets within the next 30 actually, the first product's launching in 10 days. All products will be launched within 60 days. They're also going to be launching a Core ETP. So you'll be able, as a normie, if you can't get access to non-custodial products, you can buy Core, again, directly from your brokerage account. So we're really excited, again, to kind of take a step back. We're a Bitcoin-powered, EVM-compatible Layer 1 blockchain that's meant to scale Bitcoin and unlock this $1 trillion opportunity of Bitcoin that's currently locked in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Super excited, would love to talk to all of you, and really appreciate the time today. Thanks.
I have maybe a quick question. Again, I'll start it off. If you guys have questions afterwards, maybe we can fit in one or two. But given the reluctancy of, say, those Bitcoin maxis, right, saying like, hey, I'm not interested in Lightning Network. I'm not interested in what Core DAO is doing. Like, I'd rather have my secure, the best, most secure network in the world, Bitcoin, and not really transact on a daily basis using my Bitcoin, right? I'd rather keep it in a cold storage somewhere and not do that. How do you measure demand for your products and your chain specifically when it comes to Bitcoin like that?
It's tough. I mean, it's interesting. It's tough to maybe measure. I think there's that type of user in almost every network, and we probably brand Bitcoiners like that. And they probably are, they're less degen than what you'd see as an Ethereum user. But the thing I would say is, with the launch of ordinals, had you asked me a couple of years ago whether people would spend Bitcoin to buy JPEGs, I would have said, absolutely not. Fuck no, right? But you're seeing Bitcoin NFT projects now in the top 5 and kind of taking over the entire narrative, and people are spending Bitcoin to do these random, great activities, cultural activities on chain. So I think there's always going to be a subset of Bitcoiners that just are going to keep their Bitcoin in cold storage and never do anything with it, and that's okay. I think there is a an archetype and a user that wants to also hold the asset for decades and do things with it. And that's kind of where we come in, which is, again, the ethos of crypto is to not do this through centralized entities and be able to borrow against your Bitcoin or get access to dollars on your own. So that's something we're really excited about powering, and we think that's a huge opportunity just with the size of this market. And we think that people and opportunity flow to liquidity, and Bitcoin has the most liquidity in crypto by far.
Thank you for that. Anyone else have a question for Brendon? We do. Usain Bolt over here.
So considering the integration of DeFi applications into the core chain, how do you ensure robust security measures against potential smart contract vulnerabilities, especially given the interoperability and complexity of blockchain technologies?
It's a good question. So there's really two parts. The first is, so we operate as the chain itself, and so it's an open permissionless chain that anyone can build on, right? So you go launch a meme coin or a DeFi project right now, and there's really nothing that we can do about that as the chain. We highly encourage audits, and we do our best, but because it's an open blockchain, we really can't force that on anyone. It's kind of like do your own research, as most things in crypto. So that's for kind of ecosystem projects. If we're granting a project or providing an investment coming from Core, we're going to mandate that they have audits from a reputable partner that we generally work with. For Core products, like for example, Bitcoin staking, we take security very seriously. We delayed our initial launch, for quite some time, got over 3 audits. Really do the best you can, but you obviously never know in this industry, but we're trying to do the best we can by working with very reputable security firms.
Awesome. Any more? We got one more, last one here.
Typically, when you stake, you're turning over your assets so they can be redeployed in some way and you earn your rewards. But I heard you say that you keep your keys and you earn rewards anyway. I think I heard you say for securing the network. I'm not really sure what you're getting at. Can you explain that more?
Yeah, so there's a lot of proof of stake chains. For example, you can stake Ethereum, and people consider ETH a valuable asset, so you're staking it, the economic value of that asset, to secure the Ethereum chain, right? And you earn yield for that, and then you can kind of take it out as you wish. So what we've done with Bitcoin is we've kind of done the same thing, where we think Bitcoin is the most valuable asset. It's something very secure that you're staking to the network. How the stake works is you use a hash time lock, which is kind of like a fundamental piece of the Bitcoin blockchain, where you can use a time lock contract to do a variety of use cases. So how it works is you basically stake your Bitcoin on the Bitcoin chain, but you're locking it for a period of time. And the minimum is 7 days. You could do it for 2 years if you want. So it's locked, and the thing about crypto and Web3 is when something's done, there's no way to get your Bitcoin back. So you basically can lock that for 30 days, earn a yield while it's locked, and then when it's unlocked, you can either restake again, or you can go put it to work elsewhere.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brendon. That was fantastic.
Cool. 2 closing thoughts, since I have a minute.
Go for it.
2 pieces of alpha. The first is we obviously have launched our star core domains with D3. I think there's a ton of great domains left, and we were one of the first launch partners. So first piece of alpha in this room, ton of great domains still left, unless Fred's already bought them all. I'm not sure, or myself. Secondly, we talked about our growing ecosystem. We just launched a campaign roughly a month ago called Core Ignition. It's an incentive campaign to get involved in the ecosystem. So if you bridge, start using products on Core, it may pay to be early. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Ignition.coredao.org, get involved as our incentive campaign. Thank you very much.